Welcome back. Let's go ahead and unmute Discord, see what everybody's been doing, make sure everybody's back.
Good way to put it.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
We'll talk about alcoholism.
I'm here. Love.
Hi, Brian. You have been quiet this entire session.
I have had to leave and do lots of things while we were playing.
It's okay. We've
It's
had
just
no
been
need of you yet.
convenient that-
You should have done.
Yeah,
what
it's
I
been
did and put it
convenient
on
that
your
I stayed
phone.
on the boat.
So,
But yeah.
did we figure out how many healing potions we're buying, / other potions, / pool all of our money together?
Well, from the judging of how much gold we actually have between all of us, it's
Well-
no more than 3.
Between you guys, let's make this clear.
Yeah.
Chester ain't buying anything.
Chester is not buying anything.
That's sad.
That's okay.
So,
Chester has his vice.
are you going to buy 1, 2, or 3 potions then?
2 and then 3 if I can. If I don't need to pay for the vial.
Gotcha. So you head back. The two of you head back with your pockets a little bit heavier from taking everybody else's money.
By the way, we told Eileen that it was 25.
Okay.
We'll split the difference.
He does not support them.
Well, man, next time you're dead and on the ground, Hannibal, I know it's gonna happen.
I'm fucking around. I'm not doing do that.
No, we established that from last session.
So, you arrive back at the alchemist shop after a few hours, and just like, an hour before the boat's supposed to depart. And when you get there, you're greeted by the older halfling, and he walks out, and he says, yes, this is interesting stuff here. Definitely worth my time. I've never seen anything quite the like of it. But I believe my initial logic assumption was correct. I believe that whatever is in this vial, and he holds up the one that you have 2 of, appears to be designed to counteract the effects in this vial, and he holds up the other one. But you told me it was a poison. It seems more like a disease of some sort. There are definitely magical properties that I'm unable to identify, but the best I can say is that you said you'd be willing to part with this, and he kind of like holds up the one you said you were willing to part with.
Yes.
Feel as
I
though
have multiple.
And
We have multiples of both, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter says that you're also interested in purchasing some of our goods. I'd say that if you can purchase something, then I will take this as payment for this knowledge.
Very well.
Well, and he pulls out like a scroll and he hands it to you with the antidote potion, or antidote vial. And he says, this details all of the ingredients I was able to identify inside of it. Again, these do have magical properties, but perhaps it may be possible to replicate that one. And he kind of like motions to that one. He's like, this one here seems a little bit more difficult. Not a whole lot of natural ingredients, but I'm curious to see if I can figure out what might be inside of it.
If you find out, come let me know. I'll come. We'll probably be coming back later, so let me know.
Well, you know where to find me.
Cool.
So, are you going to purchase 3 potions then of healing?
That is right.
Okay. They are your standard potion of healing. In which, let me just grab the book here so I can tell you exactly. I believe it is like...
If it's a
2d4
regular
plus
potion of
2.
healing, it's 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah, that. 2d4 plus 2. But, enough to prevent somebody from dying.
Yeah.
Arcadi will suggest that as the one least likely to get spotted and spontaneously murdered, he should probably carry at least one, if not more.
That's fine with me.
Yes, be our mobile dispenser.
Trust me, I remember.
And as somebody who charges into the fray, I believe I should also have one.
He stares at you a bit on the whole charges into the fray thing, but... You have a fluttering assistant, yes?
Yeah, I was thinking that he could hold it. Or possibly use it.
It's like 3 times the size of him, but
Oh, shit. Okay.
he could go inside of it if you wanted him to.
Would he be able
But
to
would
use that
he
on
then
it?
heal us?
I don't think that he could logically lift it and dump it into someone's mouth.
Okay, then no, I should not have it. I was thinking that Dane could be like our potion delivery system.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly. If you had like a normal familiar, perhaps.
Alright, way to punish me for being unique.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually what I do.
Yeah.
Cool, excellent, fantastic. So you pick up the 3 healing potions, you spend your 60 gold, and you continue on. So you guys all load back into the boat. Hup. And...
Hey guys, where have you been?
Places.
Did we ask Aelin to do her scan to see if she was noticing anything like disease-carrying currency?
Yeah, when you met back up with her, you probably would have had like a moment to like, hey, by the way, we should be on the lookout for disease-carrying currency. And so yeah, after running your spell, you haven't seen anything similar to that. Or DCC. There you go. Yep. Sounds good. You haven't seen anything in this city that is particularly disease heavy beyond the normal things, right? Like beyond the guy that had the flu and stuff like that.
Children, yeah.
Yeah, children, basically.
Children.
Yep.
Literally all of them.
Or that other term that I used for him that Megan doesn't like too much.
I need to hear this term now.
Oh my god, Jordan, if you repeat that, I am out.
Please message it to me. Please message
Yeah,
it to me.
I
This
am
is
not
the
bluffing.
word.
I am not bluffing.
What
So-
is
I did it
so
before,
funny.
I'll do it again.
what is
funny, though.
DCC?
No, that's disease carrying currency. That's not
Yeah.
what I was
Yeah.
talking
Oh,
Yeah.
alright, what's the thing that you wanted to call?
I will not subject Megan to that.
But please send a message to me
Maybe
with it.
maybe later.
Yeah, I want to
So
know.
the group of you is back on the boat, and you are headed off in the direction of Nuln. There are no other stops prior to getting to Nuln. Nuln is the next destination, which is great. So it's going to take about another 3 days, and I need Hannibal, Farron, and Aelin to roll me some encounter rolls this time. We'll see what
Oh.
happens. Nice roll.
I don't like it when you say that because I don't know who it's nice for.
Holy
Yo,
crap,
but that
Farron.
fucking... Yeah, but that Farron...
Jeez.
Therefore, I shall
Literally
never
only
get
one
a
of
max roll ever again.
Wow.
Well,
Pretty
see,
much.
you were literally... for that one fucking die, you almost had max.
Max of what? We're not quite sure.
It would have been
I
max at life. That's
just
what...
so you guys know, I used all of the encounters rolls that you guys just made to determine how bad this next scene is going to be.
Oh, good.
So
Oh,
do you
good.
want the good news or the bad news?
Well, see, I already know the good news,
Okay.
which is there's no more bad news.
Okay.
So hit me with the bad news.
Yeah.
So the bad news is things are going to be kind of messed up when you get there. The good news is it's not going to be irreparable. So,
Oh, good.
the group of you,
Pretty good news.
the group of you arrives. Nuln kind of drifts over the horizon as you see it, and again, there's still that big, like, kind of industrial smog almost that rises from the city because there's like a lot of coal power and a lot of wood burning things that are going on currently, and as you kind of coast into the city, you can also see that there appears to be smoke from maybe some fires burning in the city. It's a very, very obvious look that when you arrive there, you can see that there's a little bit of like black kind of pluming smoke coming from very small sections of the city itself. But as you guys are approaching the waterway to Nuln, and I'll pull it out here so just everybody's reminded of what Nuln actually looks like, because we actually have like a sheet for that.
Yeah.
Nuln. There it is. I haven't used that one in a while. So we have Nuln here. Let's just jump on over there. So as you guys are approaching via this this eastern entrance, standing in your way, in fact, you hear the captain and the first mate. They begin shouting and causing like a commotion, and they're telling the men to bust out the oars and slow the ship. And so the group of you looks up, and you can see that there appears to be, or it appears that the ship chains have been raised to the city, which essentially cuts off all boat traffic going in and out. You know what picture I was about to pull out, Megan? Chains.
No.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, James.
Oh man. Yeah.
It jokes.
So there is a large chain that is barring your entry in to the city. See that? Isn't that awesome?
It's a nice chain.
I know it is, isn't it? And so like
It's so much higher resolution
those
than
of
the rest
you-
of the world.
Yeah, it is. It is so much higher resolution than the rest of the world. It was installed later, so it has more pixels. They haven't degraded over time like the rest of the world. So, you know, for those of you that have ever lived on a major city or in a major city with the river running through it, that this is like, commanded by like the captain of the guard of the Lord that resides there, and it is an actual like military defensive structure that is put in place. And you can see also there are quite a few boats that are like docked. You see this little city that's down here. All of the boat traffic that would normally be inside of the city of Nuln is kind of like piled en masse in this little outpost. And also there's some over here as well at this little place along the Silken Road. And so after some shouting and rousing around, the boat is eventually turned towards this port over here. And you guys are approaching the port, and you can see there's a lot of people that are like kind of clamoring a bit on like the docks and stuff. So what do you guys do when you're in this moment of the city is locked out from at least this direction to all visitors, and you guys are essentially going to go dock in this bastion of humanity that exists over in this little side path.
Alright, so we're docking right here.
No, you're actually going to go dock over here in this little outer village.
In that case, I would suggest that we walk.
Oh, a good one, Hannibal. I did not realize that was our option of choice.
I mean, Petrov is busy asking the captain if he's got any idea what's going on.
Yeah, cool. So you go up to the captain, who's kind of like he's navigating the ship, and he says, can't say that I do. It's strange that they've got the water gates up. Not sure why, but typically it's only if they're, well, I mean, I've never seen Nuln attacked, but typically it's only if there are fugitives in the city that they don't want escaping via ship, but it does seem strange. That's the only time I've ever seen it done, and normally they would just chase them out and be able to take them at another location, but with this, and he kind of motions towards the pier that you guys are approaching, he's like, seems there's some type of emergency going on, perhaps.
Indeed. But in any case, Petrov, when we get into the city, I think we will have to stay at our, I wouldn't say previous estate, because someone, I look over at Hannibal, blew up that estate.
Oh, let bygones be bygones already. Possibly we should determine what current trouble city may be facing before we make decisions on lodgings.
Of course, but in the meantime, is what I'm saying.
I agree we will have to contact Lady Sylar.
Yes, and see if perhaps who is the lord of this Nuln? I forget.
So the Lord of Nuln is an individual by the name of Applebottom, I believe. Applebottom? Is that his name?
Okay.
He was the
Appleton.
dude that had-
Yeah, Count Kingsley Appleton.
He was the dude that had the gun.
Yeah, and he was going to Althor, and
That's a good song, though, Will.
yeah.
I can always count on Will. I can always count on him.
Yeah. Kingsley Appleton is the lord of this estate. And
Marilla
the
knew that
time- The last time you were here, remember, he was not present.
Yeah.
You dealt
But
with his,
how long
his
ago
wife.
was that? Like a month ago?
That was about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
No, more than that. It was probably almost 3 weeks
gonna
ago
say-
now.
Only 2 weeks.
Yeah. It was 3 to 4. When was that? Let me look. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it was actually 4 weeks ago. You guys were in.
About a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. She's just like, perhaps Lord Appleton is actually here now. Doubt it, but who knows? It's been a month. Things change.
Hannibal
So.
thinks to himself, huh. Well, as he kind of feels the rod in his cloak.
Indeed. I don't know what that means, but indeed. Gross.
You know what the rod I mean.
Are we not doing phrasing
Oh.
anymore?
I severely hope Farron doesn't know about the rod you mean.
Yeah, cool.
Is that fanfic number 3 that Farron is a part of?
Oh my god.
See, the only thing is, all the fanfic is always about Farron. Just, he's just in it in some way.
It's true. It's true.
He could be the dude that gives out the condoms.
Cool. So you guys arrive as you kind of ease your way into the docks, and the gangplank is kind of dropped down, and the boatswains, they kind of jump off and they begin tying off the boat. And now that you're closer, you can see there's actually a guarded contingent that is like guarding the docks, and they are actually keeping people back from getting onto the docks. You can see there's kind of like a mass, and as we see them, just to make it like the most easiest reference possible, they look like refugees, right? Like they look like people who have not slept in a bed nor bathed in quite some days. And they look desperate, and they look hungry, and they look like they want to get away from whatever they're doing right now. And you can see there's a couple of paladins, and we recognize the paladins of Sigmar from the church that we fought all those demons in and killed people and had all that problems with.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. We recognize a couple paladins of Sigmar kind of patrolling up and down, and they appear to be evaluating individuals and then releasing them to go onto the docks. There's like a gated checkpoint. And as the gangplank kind of descends, there appears to be a paladin and 2 city guards that are approaching the boat. And so as they're spotted approaching, the first mate, she kind of hikes up her pants, and she's like, oh, bloody shit, what is going on now? And she kind of leaps onto the gangplank and descends, beginning to speak with them. What do the group of you do?
Well, Rala just, gathers her things as we're departing, because she doesn't care about this situation. Like, I mean, she does, because it's a concern, but she's like, this isn't going to stop me, type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Last time Chester was in this city, bad things happened, so he tries to blend in well with the group.
Sorry, there are cases of cities where that's not the case.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Honest question.
Hi, Chester. Just stick
Real
with me.
talk.
I'll keep you out of trouble.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you understand.
Fantastic. So, after a few moments of the first mate and the paladin talking, they ascend onto the ship, and the first mate kind of claps her hands together. She's like, "Crew, come here." They have to perform some type of inspection to make sure that we're clear to enter onto the soil for whatever dumb reason. And the crew kind of like looks at each other, and she goes, "Hi." They said that's for the passengers as well.
I think Petrov sidles his way over to Aelin and says, "We may require your particular sensitivities."
She looks at you as if she doesn't really understand what you are asking, but she's like, "Oh, well, of course." Just kind of like walks over.
Right, with me. And then to Morella, as much as your determination is admirable, milady, I suspect this may be quarantine.
Yes. What does that have to do with us?
What does quarantine have to do with us when we are
Quarantine will have to deal with the common folk, not with us. We have more important matters to deal with.
Quarantine as in we are carrying information concerning potential plague outbreak, which might cause requirement of quarantine.
Chester just lets out a small chuckle.
I see your point, Petra. Again. Let's
Okay.
just see what they do and what they want. If it takes up too much time, I'll get impatient.
Yes, that sounds extremely productive. Excellent. Petrov takes the lead in addressing whoever it is who's coming forward to demand.
Yeah,
to
so
inspect us.
there's a paladin. You recognize the rank of the paladin. He's probably like mid level, not quite as high as some of the individuals you've had dealings with, but also like somewhat significantly above like your everyday rank and file individual. And he's currently like he's opening the bags of the crew members and kind of like perusing through them. And he kind of like waves his hand over it once, and he nods and hands it back, and he does that with each item that they have. And then he kind of like takes their hand in his, and he places his palm on top of it, and he closes his eyes for a moment, and you see him like maybe muttering something, and then he nods and he sends them on their way. And he's doing this systematically with all of the crew members. And so then like he approaches you, and he says, "Greetings. By order of the Count, I must inspect all of your belongings for signs of plague."
Yes, I believe you may have use for a comrade of ours with particular gift in detecting disease. And he
Aelin steps forward.
Aelin forward, yes.
Yeah, so immediately there's that moment, and granted, remember, this is a paladin you're speaking to, the righteous warriors of a particular deity, not a priest, the holy, speakers of the deity. And so just based on that, they're a little more zealous in their practices. And so I think that he looks at you.
They haven't met Aelin yet.
Right, he looks at you, and he kind of like glances you up and down and sees, he's like, "Greetings, priestess of Shalia. What brings you to Nuln?"
I'm merely here on a mission sent from Altdorf. I'm fully willing to help. Is there anything I can do? I can speed up this process. You said plague. I've had dealings.
He kind of like holds up his hand, like right at the end of that sentence, and he says, "Listen, I understand that your deity prides itself in the healing arts, but this is a protection we need to ensure that no more of whatever this plague is entering the city."
Yes, this is precisely concerned. We come to Nuln bearing information regarding potential disease threat.
Yeah, and I think his eyebrows kind of raise, and he's like...
Although, I suppose at this point that maybe less immediately relevant than we expected.
Yeah, and I think he raises an eyebrow and he says, "Wait a moment. Where did you say you were coming from?"
I've forgotten exactly where the Escape and Ruins were.
It was Mulberg, but he also looks at
Right.
Aelin too. He says, like, when you say Altdorf, and I think he kind of like looks at the group of you and he says, if I may have the name of you and your group.
Ah, yes, perhaps you are expecting Lady Marilla Fairheart and Ambassador Arkady Petrov.
Yeah. So when you say that, there's a recognition that dawns in him, and he kind of like he raises an eyebrow and he kind of like there's a weird like kind of glint, steely glint in his eye, and he's like, "Ah, yes, I know the name. Do you have documentation?" He's asking for your papers, right? Your identification.
Obviously, yes.
You present it, and he looks it over, and he's like, "Ah, yes, very well. Well, I will still need to perform the inspection, but you say you have information on this plague. I will bring you directly to the Count. It is by his orders that we are doing this currently."
Magnificent. It is by our preference that we would meet with the Count.
He nods, and like again, you guys have to present your belongings and your person for inspection. And I assume all of you do that.
Yeah.
Are we perhaps able to convince him to let Aelin speed things up?
I think no. Well, I mean, I'll let you roll for it. If you would like to persuade him, the problem is he's been given this order, not Aelin, and so there's no way that he could verify Aelin is actually doing what she's told, regardless of who you are. But maybe if you roll me anybody can roll me a persuasion check. It's gonna be hard though.
Anyone got better than +8?
I doubt it.
Yeah, right.
I might.
And or does anyone have an idea on how they could assist?
I have a persuasion of 8 too.
I have
Maybe-
persuasion of 9. So.
Really?
I knew we hired you for some reason.
Do it. What are you waiting
Yeah,
for?
so I think that Farron, if you want to jump in here, you could definitely gain assistance from the fact that you are Marilla Fairheart, Arkady Petrov, like you're the heroes, right? Like the
Yeah.
ones who stopped the demons. So you could have an advantage on the roll, but it is still going to be a difficult roll.
Yeah. I know. Come now. I know you're only doing your job, but as you can see, we do have some valuable information. And you know that we, of course, would not harbour any ill intent towards the city of Nuln, so perhaps we could let this slide for the time being.
Sure.
Oh, damn.
25 is what you
Nice.
needed, and so I think he looks around, and he says he looks and he. Like, there's that, he grits his teeth a little bit as, like, he's, like, there's a little bit of pride there, too, of, like, allowing a priestess of Shalia to do his job, but you convince him that it is more important that you go see the Count as fast as possible, because you guys do have valuable information. So, Hannibal.
I go specifically.
I need you to roll me a check, though, to see,
Because I want to try to naturally make it so that Island's the one checking.
yeah, roll me a, what is this?
Aelin!
I want to say it's going to be, I think it's a deception check, actually. I think it's a deception check to make it appear natural.
Okay.
So I think a 10 is a minimum success. You can definitely be inspected by Aelin, but I think that there was like a moment where like maybe you got in line, right? Like you guys are all in line and Aelin is helping, working from one side and working to the other, and like you were next and you realized that he was going to inspect you, and you like trade positions with somebody else, like Merrick or Lord Master Karis are next to you, and you just kind of like slide to the back and slide over, and it's noticed by the individuals like kind of around, and they're like, what's he doing? So he doesn't notice, like he doesn't make the connection immediately, but he may make a connection later that you had Aelin inspect your pack, which Aelin, running your detect poison and disease, And you've seen it multiple times before when you've done it. Those vials that Hannibal is carrying are very clearly ridden with disease.
I use Dane to try to whisper into her ear, "Shut up! Don't say anything."
I mean, you've seen it before, Aelin. Like, you know what they are. It's not a hidden fact from the group.
Yeah, no, Aelin would take them from you and say, "Oh, I found something. We will have to get rid of this."
Fucker!
Sounds about right.
I am so ready to fucking Eldritch Blast you.
Yeah, and so like, the paladin he kind of like looks, and he like comes over and he inspects it himself, and he's like, "Where did you get these?"
These are a matter that we need to take to the count.
They believe these are samples of disease which may be relevant in its cure.
And he kind of like looks and he's like, "This is far too dangerous. We will allow them to enter, but I will be in possession of them. You understand?"
Magnificent. I
Prefer
always
not
love having
to.
someone to carry bags.
Prefer not to. Hannibal makes a mental note that Aelin is forever his enemy.
Yeah, and I think he says, "Understand your preference here does not matter. This is a matter of the safety of all of the people of this city."
Okay, and then I pat Aelin's shoulder. Thank you.
Oh, I'm just doing my job.
Oh, fuck you.
And he like again,
Chester
he like
also,
very delicately takes the 5 now vials and the 2 other
No,
vials.
4. No, there's only 3. Are the antidotes also poison? All the antidotes also
They're all in
disease?
the same like little container.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they've all been in the same little container the whole time. It's like a little wooden holder that has all 6 little test tubes in it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so
5.
they're all together, and he pulls it out of your pack, and he gently begins like wrapping it in cloth, and then places it into a. In fact, no, he probably actually calls for a lockbox to be brought up, and he places it like into a lockbox and closes it, and keys it, and then like puts the key on a chain and hangs it around his neck, and he has the lockbox like under his arm, and he said, "Well, if that is all, then I believe that we should go see the Count immediately and tell him of this news."
Yeah, fucking let's do it. Whatever.
Cool. So you guys disembark the boat. Does anyone say anything to Merrick or Lord Master Karis? Because the Paladin and all them assume they're just part of your group right now, but if nobody says anything to them, they may just fade into the night and go their separate ways.
I mean, I've been the party face towards.
I mean, he's gonna make
Master.
another baby, so.
I'm going to talk to Merrick before we leave
Okay.
because I feel like I should.
Do you say would you join us? Because
No,
like you're essentially going to be shuttled as quickly as possible towards the.
Oh
the
no!
capital.
If it's like where I have to ask him to join us, no.
Um.
Wait. Also, I sent you a thing on Discord.
Okay. Anyway, what are you going to say to Karis? Farron?
So I would say, you're slow, Master. So, will you be joining us, or should we unfortunately have to say our farewells?
She kind of like, she gazes up at the smoke rising from the city, and she says, "Well, Farron, I must say that this is not part of my current responsibilities, and I hold no loyalty to this city, but it is possible that I may be of some assistance."
Lost you there, Jordan.
Oh, are we back?
You nasty
Oh.
cut out there.
No.
Back.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Discord did a weird thing again. Apologies.
Yeah. You cut out just as you said, "Well, Farron," and then
Yeah, no, it's fine. So she's like, well, if you're watching this on YouTube, Discord has decided to fuck itself again. Don't know what's happening. It's deciding to just like freeze up completely. Stand by.
Do the right thing.
You don't trust me?
No.
God, no.
No, I know that Megan doesn't, but does
No.
Eileen?
Why would Aelin trust you for any reason?
She does not know you, so
The
it does not make
only-
sense.
Plus, the only stories that she's been told about you are you blowing up a house and other such stories.
Those were scientific endeavors.
Chesterverse specifically gives her a pat
Failed
on the back.
scientific endeavors.
Good job. Well done.
Oh, am I on your good list now? Okay.
You are definitely on Chester's good list now.
What have I done to you?
At least I'm on somebody's good list. Damn.
No,
I
you
think you're on
are.
lots of
You're
people's
not on
lists.
Farron's bad list, just he deeply resents you for being better at music than him.
No, you know. Right now, you are on Hannibal's. Like, if he sees you dying, he's not going to help list.
I have a feeling that Aelin will never be dying.
I
So
believe
just.
Yeah.
Just-
You think you can pickpocket the rogue?
Ooh, this is a true story. I'd like to see that occur.
About what now?
Pickpocketing is
Apparently.
Oh,
Damn.
rogue.
Damn. Damn.
I mean,
I think rolls need to occur, really.
I think so.
So let's do it
Mhm.
while we're waiting.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
if you roll
I'm not
pickpockets-
gonna lie. Petrov will put you in the ground. I'm just saying.
No, I want to see it.
Yeah, let's see it. Roll.
So, what do you want me to post this with? Insight?
Are we doing pickpocketing or sleight of hand, stealth? What do we want to do
What are we
here?
doing here?
Don't worry about
What?
it. Nothing.
I mean, it would be pickpocketing versus
Right, versus
perception.
perception, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Perception.
yeah,
Ooh.
No,
that's bad.
Nope.
Oh, perception first! Oh, damn! Boo!
Boom.
It's okay, Petrov. All you gotta do is
Alright.
just teachy doodle, take
See-
the perception skill, make your expertise then.
Here's the best
Eat.
part: is Petrov could literally just pickpocket it back, and there could just
Yep.
be an infinite loop of
Tape.
things going on. Anyway,
Sure.
Because
sorry about the dropout. Not really sure what happened. But Farron, what she says to you is, hold on. I was reading something from Hannibal, but then I realized.
Okay. I thought you cut out once again at the perfect moment.
No. What she says to you is, well, I can say that I hold no loyalty to these people or the city or even the empire, but if you think there would be some use of me, perhaps this is important enough.
Aye, of course, with your, outstanding knowledge, of course you'll be of use, my lady.
Yeah, and she kind of looks around. She's like, perhaps, but I can tell you one thing, that I will not seek danger, should it arise.
Of course, my lady. I would not expect anything more.
Very
I
well.
assure you, we hardly ever have to seek danger.
Very well. I will accompany you. Perhaps give my side of the story to this count of yours.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And what I want to say to Merrick will depend on the answer to that question.
So, Hannibal, it was more of the same. It was more of just the comforting kind of trying to become ingrained, trying to reach out and connect with that person emotionally.
Okay.
There was probably one thing though that stands out. And he probably says something along the lines of like, something along the lines of this. I've had fears too. It's scary. Some deeper and darker than others. I've seen things that others would not comprehend, as I'm sure that you do yourself. But what I can say is, I found someone to watch over me, to protect me from these things. Perhaps you can do the same. Whether it be someone you see, or someone you feel, or someone you've made up. And that's probably like one of the stranger lines that he uses.
Okay, in that case, I definitely turn to him and say, I don't know who you are or what your past is, but you seem like an alright guy. Would you like to join us?
Yeah, and I think he looks, and again, he looks at the smoke rising over the city, and he says, Hey, I don't work with a crew, Hannibal, but it has been a pleasure riding on this boat with you, and getting into a bit of a scuffle as well with those lizardmen, but I think I work far better on my own, but consider that I do not think this is the last you will see of me. Perhaps where my skills are most well met, we can provide each other with information on whatever is going on here.
Sounds great. And I reach out my hand to shake his hand without ding this time.
Sure.
And say, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and I think he shakes your hand firmly and says, Indeed.
So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm also staring at Ellen, hatefully.
Fantastic.
She doesn't notice.
Fuck you, Helen.
Helen. So, okay. The group of you departs with the paladin, who gets on a tall, kind of white steed. He secures the lockbox, like, right in front of him, and he looks down at the group of you, and he says, Well, if you'll follow me, I'll have an escort bring us directly to the castle.
Alright, sure, whatever. Right.
And you guys begin trotting off down the roadway through this kind of mass of people that thins out the further you get away from the docks. And you travel down the road, and it takes a little bit, takes like most of the day probably to get, or it doesn't take most of the day, but it takes a little while to get over to the gates that are right down here. And once you guys get there, you can see that there is another kind of group of people that are littered around the outside of the gate. Some have set up like lean-to sleeping areas, and there's like a small almost encampment out there. You can smell campfires cooking and burning, and you can see the people that are like kind of just huddled together in these little pockets of humanity as you approach the gate. And when you get there, you see that there's another paladin standing by with like 3 or 4 guards that are kind of standing in front of the actual gate, barring access. And the paladin who you've been following, who names himself probably George is his first name, and he walks up to the other paladin and greets him, and they exchange information, and he says to him, he motions towards you, and then you guys are authorized to enter into the city. And you walk in, and you can see immediately as you walk in, and you're actually inside the walls, you can see up the hill a little bit, because again, this whole portion right here, the Noble Rings, is set up higher than the rest of the city. And so you can see the fires kind of littering the landscape around. Looks like over towards the Cup and the Sword, where you guys had that party. There's a couple of fires that are burning. the most the most destroyed area appears to be in the northwest portion, over in the crafting district area. That appears to be where like the most damage is. And as you guys enter into the city and begin to walk with the individuals, you see that the great tower that sits here in the middle, you see that the balustrade that are sitting on top of that are turned towards this entrance of the river right here. You can see the signs of what appear to be skirmishes along the major roadway, but currently there is no like current skirmishes ongoing. But you probably walk by a portion where it appears there are probably a couple of undertakers that are like piling up bodies into carts, and they're covered and stuff, and they're like carting them off towards a different location, and they all have these like masks on, not dissimilar to Hannibal's. And as you guys begin to enter in and head across the bridge, you can see that the water below you has turned this weird yellowish color. And when you get to the bridge, the smell of sulfur kind of invades your nostrils a little bit. And I mean, you guys immediately kind of recognize that and put that together, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the paladin, Knight George, he probably turns to Aelin, and he says, "Yes, priestess, it was terrible. One day we all woke up and the water was like this." And he kind of nods and he's like, "The source appears to be the sewer systems, but we've been scouring them, unable to track down whatever may be causing it. I understand that you and your group, when you were here previously, you encountered or had some information that was passed along."
Oh, I was not here previously. I am new to this group. I am not the one to ask, but yes, this water, it is very much a bad omen.
He's like, I see. Well, perhaps if I had had you, this would not have turned out this way.
It's too late to think that way now.
Yeah, totally. And he kind of like goes silent, and then he looks over to Farron, who was the one that like addressed him previously, and he says, "Tell me, where were you coming from that led you past Nuln?"
We came from Outdorf as we passed down through Nuln. As we continued, as we stayed here for quite a while and helped with some problems here. And
It was more than just mere problems, Farron.
Aye, that's maybe true, but
It is the demons you speak of, no?
Yes,
Ill
both
tidings.
occurrences.
Ill tidings, those.
aye, they were indeed. But we did our best, and about a month ago we set off towards the east. We have now come to return our findings.
He goes, "Well, I can say that a month ago, the prospects were much better for this city, even with the demons."
Aye, it certainly does appear that way.
Yeah. And as he kind of leads you through the winding streets of Nuln up eventually to the noble rings, as you enter into the second ring of the city, you can see that, as per the norm, the noble rings have been largely untouched by whatever ails this city. There's no fires that burn here. The streets are cleaner. There doesn't appear to be any like refugee rabble on the streets here. And I think that you guys are walking down the main large drag towards the towards the nobility, and everybody roll me a perception check.
Oh, great. My greatest skill.
Mm-hmm.
Would Dane do this as well?
Yeah, he can.
Sweet.
Holy shit, I nailed it.
The bright sun is freaking destroying my eyes.
Wow.
Lately.
Was that Dane or you, Hannibal?
That was me.
Okay.
Dane will roll a 2 just in case,
Sure.
because I want to get into the habit of doing both.
Alan crit failed and still did better than Petrov.
That was Dane.
So, Farron, you're the first to notice. But as you walk by an estate that you may recognize on the left-hand side, you see the curtains being drawn back on a room, and you see an elderly woman standing with short hair and a beak-like nose and very thin, and in one hand she has a wine glass, and she's gazing upon the group of you as you walk by. And then, like, maybe you, like, point it out to Morella and Hannibal, and you guys look up as well, and you see her. And she kind of swirls the wine glass a little bit, and you can see her take a sip as she monitors you guys walking by.
Vampire.
Morella would, like, she wouldn't, like, really, like, turn her head or anything. She'd just give the, like, sideways glance with her eyes
Sure.
as she's looking at the windows. But it's a very cold glance.
Yeah, totally.
So.
Fantastic. And then I
Indeed.
assume you relay that to all of your party members after you pass by
Yeah.
the house.
So we will not need to inform her of our presence.
No, she knows. I'm sure she knew the moment we arrived.
Who is this she you were speaking of?
A vampire.
Lady Sylar. I'm sure you've heard of her.
Lady Sylar.
I mean,
She is a vampire.
Familiar.
She was you could say, benefactor whilst we were in the city for better
Yeah,
for
and
worse.
then-
Yes, she supplied us with the flammable house.
I did not know stone was
Silence.
flammable. Hannibal will prove that wrong for me, though.
Anything is flammable with enough heat.
So I've
I
learned.
am not sure, but I feel this is not true.
I have some tests I'm willing to carry out if you buy me another alchemical set.
At another house? I say no.
Hilarious. Let us move on.
Yes.
perfect. Yeah, so your presence is known through whatever methods Lady Sarlar has of monitoring her subjects is the word, maybe? Her charges, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, sure. That.
Charges.
Yeah,
So eventually you guys do arrive indeed. Yeah, did you have something?
Sorry, no, I just said you